My name is Dagan Shah. I used to be a student at Algonquin. I did the photonics technology program there. I got my bachelor degree in that. I did a ton of martial arts, mostly Taekwondo, and then branched out into Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And at a certain point, I realized that no matter how good I get at martial arts, if 5 guys dump out of a van and tell me to empty my pockets, then I'm gonna be screwed, basically. No matter how good a fighter I am, I'm going to the hospital with them. And from there, I found parkour as an alternative to having to fight. This way, doesn't matter how many people are trying to mug me or kick my ass or whatever, I can vault a car, hop a fence, climb up a building, jump off the other side, and anyone who wants to mess with me is gonna have to be better and faster at doing that before they even get to throw a punch. So that's how I came to parkour, and that's why I continue to do it.
My name's Nick Press. I'm 22. I'm finishing a Bachelor of English degree at Carleton University. And I actually approached parkour through a completely different journey than Dagan's. I had always skateboarded and snowboarded my whole life. I still do. Love them. I think they're a great way to spend your time. But I really couldn't ingrain myself in the whole skate culture. You know, the atmosphere at these parks, be it a snowboard park or a skate park, is always kind of one of one-upmanship and an unhealthy rivalry. I wasn't really so down with that, and then I came across parkour just because a local pastime growing up as kids was always climbing on top of schools and getting drunk up there and then trying to climb back down without falling to our deaths. So that had always been something I did, and then I just found out that it is actually a legitimate form of, well, I mean, it's not defined, but it's a thing people do, and so now it's a thing I do.
I guess we should talk about what parkour is for us. There's parkour and there's free running. Parkour is, like I said, where you're trying to either catch someone who's snatched a purse or, you know, done some terrible thing and you want to hunt them down, or they're after you to do something you don't want. So parkour is about getting away or catching someone over uneven terrain, urban environment, in the fastest, most efficient way possible.
Then there's free running, which is a bunch of kids like myself, admittedly, with skateboarding backgrounds, see parkour and they say, wow, what a cool way to get around. I bet if we took some gymnastics, threw that in the mix and started doing front flips, round-offs, essentially useless movements, but that look very, very cool. They developed it into more of an art form and less of a martial art. And it's if I had to classify the difference in one sentence, I would say that parkour is a martial art, whereas free running is an extreme sport.
Definitely, absolutely. And of course, I mean, both of us, I think, prefer parkour as a philosophy, but we both participate in free running. We both
because it's damn
both.
Fun.
it's a lot of fun, and it does look really, really cool. I don't want it to sound like I'm saying that free running's, you know, useless or shitty. It's a lot of fun, and it does look amazing, and it's very, very difficult as a discipline. Here in Ottawa, the architecture is actually pretty good comparatively. I've done parkour in Bangkok and in Tokyo and a little bit in Singapore as well. And I've dabbled in Toronto. Toronto's not that great, although they have a really good scene there. Bangkok has a tremendous scene, lots of people free running there, and that has to do, I think, with the movie industry there. It's really cheap to film movies in Thailand, and when I visited, I got a stunt job. I was there just as a tourist, just to do some training, and they just snatched me up and put me in a movie. So kids who don't have quite as much money and just playing outside, and they can actually make a career out of it. So tons of people in Bangkok free run.
The injury risk is definitely present.
Yeah.
They tend to be more chronic injuries than serious one-time affairs. Obviously, occasionally, if you're running over the course of 5 years, there's going to be that big fall, that big mistake that you make that is going to cost you. But far more common are the little things. Shin splints are huge.
Knee pain, patella. I've ruptured chronically both patellas or the ligament in my patellas. So
yeah.
You know, if I'm not paying attention and I do a pile of heavy drops one day, the next day
Yeah.
I'll walk around, my knees will be
Strained
so
muscles,
sore.
strained tendons.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Scraped hands, stuff like that.
it's the type of stuff that, I mean, do you want to free run? Then that's going to be a consequence. If that's too much for you, stop free running.
And the same, and people hear that, they're like, oh my god, it wears out your knees. Like, why would you ever do that? But then they'll go and play tennis. Tennis wears out your elbows, it wears out your wrists. That pretty much every sport, every discipline is going to wear out the part of your body that is used in
Yeah.
it. You have a body.
We're just chemical reactions, and sooner or later, there's going to be nothing left on that side of the equal sign. So PKTO started back in 2001 or so by a guy by the name of Dan. I don't know his last name, he goes by Dano, but he's a hell of a good free runner and just an all-around cool guy. He set up a gym in Toronto called the Monkey Vault, and he set up this website that like-minded free runners can just go on, trade stories, trade ideas, set up meets, and just stay in touch. That evolved into these different chapters for Waterloo, for Ottawa, for Quebec City, Montreal. I think Quebec City might be independent, actually. But the one for Ottawa is known as PKCC, or Parkour Canada's capital. And so that's the reason that if you go online and they're looking for Ottawa free running videos, the channel that will come up is PKCC PKTO, because we're Parkour Canada's capital under the affiliation of Parkour Toronto.